Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, the road to December 19th is well and truly upon us, and in today's video, we will be taking a look at episode 1 of the characters that we are missing on global with the synchronization of the Japanese and the global side of the game. So with episode 1 comes DEX Super Type V3 Rob Lucci, and in today's video, we are taking him into Garb's Challenge, Heavenly Demon 2. So that was the team. Those are the supports. Let's dive in. Now, before we begin, this really isn't a guide or a walkthrough video. This is more of a discussion video on Rob Lucci as a character, as he is, he came out before Yamato, and we already have Yamato on the global side of the game, so I figured he would be a very good place to start in terms of the discussion of what characters are going to get thrown into the game after that maintenance on December 19. Now, if you are trying this team, I do apologize because I'm not doing a walkthrough, but something to note before you begin, make sure to start as ulti as the character. You will find it a lot easier. And when you hit the Pika stage, make sure to use your Rob Lucci special, not the friend captain Rob Lucci. You'll be able to get the double special activation of Sober Mask on the final stage. You have a lot more damage output. The run will be a lot safer, but nevertheless, the amount of offensive power that Lucci actually has manages to do it with all those little finer details, not fine tuned. So he's just an absolute weapon. I gotta say, I'm a big fan of this character. The CP0 Lucci is finally in the game, and they did the boy justice. They did him very, very well. His 5-star art, it's beautiful. I actually really, really like his 5-star art. Rob Lucci in his human form, I find way more menacing. He's way more intimidating to me when he is in that 5-star form, as you guys see on the left hand of the screen, compared to when he's in his leopard form. When he's in his leopard form, I understand, he's this big buff cat, but to me, I just find him way more intimidating when he's in that sort of white suit and he's just got that look on his face. I can kill you in so many ways that, you can't even comprehend that. So, absolute weapon. Big fan of CP0 Lucci, and I'm really, really glad they did him justice when they brought him into the game. What does he do, though? What does this character do? So, his captain ability is a 5x captain to Powerhouse, Fighter, and DEX. He does 0.5 his recovery every time you hit a perfect as end of turn healing, and he increases the chance of landing on matching orbs for fighters, Powerhouse, and the DEX color. So he's probably one of the best DEX captains in the game. In terms of offensive power, I do think him and Queen take the cake in terms of pure offense. The thing about Lucci, obviously, is he does have that healing in his kit, and he does have a very, very nice super type, which we will talk about in a second. But the raw offensive power that he does have makes him very, very nice to run as a captain. But I'm a bit of a bigger fan of running stuff like Zoro as captain. But nevertheless, honestly, Lucci probably is the best DEX captain in the game. In my opinion, he is. As for the fighter class, fighter sort of suffers quite a bit, and they are on the lower end of the spectrum when we are talking about classes in the game. In terms of fighter captains, though, Lucci's right up there as number 1. The only other character that comes close to sort of rivaling Lucci is something like Last Tap Luffy, and look, you guys know how I feel about Last Tap Luffy. I think Lucci just is miles above him, and he just trumps him every day of the week. Don't even talk to me about Treasure Map Sanji. He's not even in the conversation. In terms of fighter captains, Lucci is definitely the best. When it comes to Powerhouse captains, though, Powerhouse is probably the 4th best class in the game, in my opinion anyway. They are definitely up the top end of the spectrum when we are talking about classes, but comparing to stuff like Driven, Cerebral, even Free Spirit, I do think they just sort of fall short, especially to Driven and Cerebral. I guess you can make an argument to me that they are on par with something like Free Spirit, but look, I'm going to be biased, and I was always a bigger fan of the Free Spirit meta over the Powerhouse meta, but I'm not going to deny how strong Powerhouse is. To me, it's just not the most fun to run, and I guess in that regard, that's why it sort of drops off a little bit for me, but I'm not discrediting how strong Powerhouse actually is, and Lucci is definitely a very good Powerhouse captain. The downside to his captain ability, and Lucci as a captain, is he does have to compete with a lot of other characters in the game. We have a lot of really good Powerhouse characters, and with the release of Katakuri, who you guys will see at the back end of this sort of series, he does have to compete with Katakuri, who's a super class, which makes it a little bit hard when we are talking about Powerhouse captains, as running something like Katakuri is usually going to be your go forward. You also have stuff like Versa Kainu, you have stuff like Page 1 Ulti, you have stuff like Moria. There are a lot of different options that you guys can be running for Powerhouse captains as well. So that's where Lucci does suffer in terms of just his pure competition. His special, though, his special is something to be desired. He's a very strong special that he completely removes defense up, which is always going to be viable, always super nice. If you guys know how good V1 VV Becker is, completely removing defense up is always going to be great. How often you'll use that is another story, But Doffy 2 was a prime example because we do use his special not only for offensive power, but we actually use it to remove the 2 turns of defense up on the Pika stage and on the final stage against the Doffy, which is really, really nice. He does a bunch of damage as well, which is great for stuff like supports. And he also does a 2.5 times orb boost to fighters, Powerhouse, and the DEX color. He also gives a 1000 base attack boost as well, which is very, very strong. Now, you global players that have just sort of come into the realization of what the 1000 base attack does, you guys have seen what stuff like Verse Shanks, Verse Wipey can do for their teams, and the amount of offensive power you actually get from that. You guys will understand how strong a 1000 base attack boost actually is. For myself, when I am team building, I normally prioritize attack boost and then base attack boost. That's usually what I prioritize. And with Lucci not only giving the base attack, but also being an orb booster for the team, makes him a very, very good addition to the crew. As I mentioned though, he does have a bit of competition. When we are talking orb boosters for stuff like Powerhouse, we do have Versakainu, we have Moria, we have Katakuri. When we are looking at the Dex color, we do have Super Type Zoro as well. And when we are looking at fighters, look, he's probably the best fighter orb booster, but look, who's running fighter teams, right? In saying that though, Lucci's very, very powerful. He has nice utility, does some damage, great for wave clearing, plus he just does a massive orb boost as well, like just massive numbers when it comes to damage output. Because of his captain ability where he greatly increases the chance of orbs, where he increases the chance of landing on orbs, but as you guys have probably noticed in this entire run, like, we are getting matching orbs left, right, and center. And if you compare it to something like Last Tap Luffy, his chance of landing on matching orbs is miles above Last Tap Luffy. It's absolutely astronomically miles above Last Tap Luffy, which is really, really nice. It's not something you should rely on, but it is something that is very, very nice. The final thing that Lucci has in his kit is his Super Type. His Super Type states that as long as you use an orb boost at any time on your run, you can activate his super typing and turn all Dex characters into super Dex. What he does is he does 75 times his attack that completely ignores barriers and defensive effects, and he increases the orb buff by 0.3. So literally just with Lucci as your captain, you can get a 2.8 times orb buff, as well as a 1000 base attack, a little bit of utility, and a lot of damage. So Lucci as a captain, very, very strong. A very, very phenomenal unit, but he just does have competition. I think that's where he lacks like the biggest stuff, like especially like V4 Katakuri or Superclass Katakuri being a 2.75 times orb boost as well as a base attack boost as well. Kind of puts Lucci in sort of a weird spot, especially with these characters probably coming out at the same time. Nevertheless though, if you have one, you can run the other. Katakuri can be your orb booster, your attack booster. Lucci can be your orb booster. And, like, Bob's your uncle, you will be good to go there. But that was the showcase of Lucci against Heavenly Demon 2. It was actually a lot of fun putting this team together, and Powerhouse, as you guys can see, Powerhouse are just absolute monsters. And they do manage to get the job done pretty easily. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on this character in the comment section below. Let me know if you're hyped for this character, if you want this character, what you think about this character, if you think he's good, if you think he's bad, where he shines, and where he sucks. But if you guys did enjoy the video anyways, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me if you're new to the channel. Hit that big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. Prepare yourself for New Year's Globarians because it is coming. And even though through all these showcases, make sure you save because that New Year's banner, if it's anything like Roger noted, we got some big stuff ahead of us global. But as I mentioned, make sure to smash the like button, hit that big red subscribe button, enjoy the rest of your day, stay beautiful, stay positive, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Lates!